Peace, family. Let me know if you can hear me clear on the audio. Let me know if the audio was good, how we coming through. Sound effects.
To this day! To this day!
All right, all right, all right. That's what's up. I hear it sounds good. It sounds good. Let's do this roll call. Let's get this thing going. Yeah, as you can see, we tapping in. This is an early show. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna get this out the way. A few things to talk about today, some announcements and whatnot. Love and light to the family. Happy Mondays to everybody out there. You feel me? I'm greeting everybody first and foremost in peace. You know what I mean? Love and light, mental health, spiritual health, financial health, emotional health. Yeah, let's get this show on the way. All right.
To this day. To this day.
Boy. We got Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in the building. We got Naptown in the building. We got the BX in the building. All right. You relocated to the A. Jacksonville, Florida in the building. Chino Hills in the building. Detroit in the building. San Francisco, California. The motherfucking yay is in the building. Salute to y'all. Oh, let me turn this down. Hold on. Get my low. There we go. Rome, Georgia. Shout out to Rome, Georgia.
To this day.
Yeah, shout out to Rome,
to this
Georgia.
Day.
When in Rome, my niggas. Scranton, Pennsylvania. Scranton. You know what I'm talking about? The land of Jean Baptiste. Okay. Ohio in the building. Baltimore in the building. Mexico in the building. Denver in the building. The Mandem from North London in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Across the pond. East Oakland in the building. New Orleans in the building. St. Paul, Minnesota, Twinnesota in the building. Salute to y'all. Okay. Okay. Uptown Iraq. What you doing? What you doing? Let's know about Uptown Iraq. Dallas, Texas. Nah, for real. What you know about Uptown Iraq, though? As soon as we hit that 100 mark, I'm gonna get into my spiel and whatnot. I don't really have too much time to waste. Yeah, man. Covington, Georgia. Ambridge, Pennsylvania. Hagerstown, Maryland. It seems like when I do early shows, there's a different roll call taking place. When I'm on midnight, it's like all fucking North Carolina, the West Coast is in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this is a different type of lineup, and I love it. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? New people from different places. You know, we tapping into new grids today and whatnot. That's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Everything is in accordance. There's no mistakes. You know what I mean? No coincidences. All right. Make sure y'all hit that like and share. That's right, Mike. Make sure y'all hit like and share. You already know what it is. I don't need to, we have an intelligent audience. I don't got to tell y'all how the algorithm or, how YouTube works. I'm sure you've been on enough shows and platforms to know how this thing works. The like button, very important. The like button is very important. Also, the Cash App and the ways that you support this channel is very important, because we don't receive no super chat or anything like that. We are independent media, okay? And according to the hundreds of people that I see that run up to me, we are independent media that is doing great things, all right? In these streets and whatnot, in these YouTube streets, in these real life streets, in people's lives. I don't care if it's elders, babies from 8 to 80 and whatnot. They tell me unanimously that this show and other shows that we have been doing, you know what I mean, through other mediums and platforms and whatnot, are helping their lives. So can you run up on Storm? Can you run up on Al Roker and say the same thing? Can you run up on homie from TMZ and say the same thing? Can you run up on Anderson Pooper and say the same thing? Is that nigga saving your life? Is he changing your life? Is Don Lemonhead changing your life, or is he just giving you a regurgitated propaganda? So yeah, support the channel. I pinned the Cash App right there, money sign Phil Moreland. I'm also going to drop the link for KTL University to support the upcoming lecture that we have coming up next Saturday and no, next Sunday. I'm sorry, pardon me. Next Sunday, right? And this is what we're going to be doing because I had some conversations with the audience yesterday in Atlanta, and they were very excited about, they were asking me everywhere that I was going during this festival that we're going to be talking about in a minute. They were like, Red Pill, what are you doing next? Red Pill, what's going on next? Red Pill, we want to tap in and whatnot. Red Pill, what y'all got popping up? Red Pill, I see that Brother Rich is out here, King Simon is out here, Red and Blue is out here, KT, like what's happening? And I was like, I was planning on doing an online lecture on Sunday, right? But because all of y'all is running up on me, we might make that thing an online lecture and we might make it a live event. So if you live in Atlanta, if you in the A and whatnot, and you want to pop up and you want to come outside and whatnot, and you want to be at an event where you could rub shoulders with your peoples, see some vendors, you know what I mean? Get in touch with some beautiful people and whatnot. I'm gonna need y'all to hit me on the I'm gonna need y'all to get some what are we gonna do? I'm going to give you a number to text, right? And when you text this number, text the number and then text fear to the number, right? And from there, we will get back in touch with you. And we have, if you ever been in Atlanta, you know that the brunch is real big in Atlanta, right? So we're planning on doing a brunch, right? And this brunch will also include some food and some information. So we plan on doing something at the Unity Cafe on Sunday. That is if I'm only going to do it if I get about 50 people. I'm not doing it if there's no, if I don't get no response, it's all good. I'll stay in the crib and I'll broadcast from Zoom. It makes me no difference and whatnot. But if about 50 people reach out, you know what I mean? I will go ahead and I will pay the people at the venue, get them to start making out the food and whatnot. And we'll have a brunch/lecture on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, right here in the West End in Atlanta, Georgia and whatnot. So we could get some information, then we could network, we could politic, we could rub shoulders. To be honest with you, like I said, when I was speaking yesterday in Atlanta at Tassili's event called The Wizards of Raw. And if you're not familiar with The Wizards of Raw, just go ahead when you finish watching this video, go and look at the videos. I uploaded 2 videos, 2 live streams, both from me and Blue Pill. So you get to see what the energy feels like. It's all over my Instagram page. We're even going to follow the page on, I'm going to go and share my page and go on my Instagram and show you some of the footage from yesterday and whatnot. It was magical. The whole weekend or Strong In was magical, not just Sunday. It started on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it was upstairs. It was beautiful. It was magical. It was powerful. Shout out to Brooklyn in the building. I see you, Brooklyn. Yes, rest in peace, Trouble. We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to get into that tonight. Another messianic one, another Messiah taken from us. And I'll get into that in a minute. Just let me warm up. You know what I'm talking about? Let me warm up. Let me talk about, you coming from Alabama? All right, cool. The email, all right, the text is right there. Text fear to 470-660-4706. Text fear to 470-660-4706. And that fear is just the title, Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. The reason why I'm calling it Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah is because when you look around, and I'm going to also show you in the lecture, and we could talk about it even today, we don't have to wait to the lecture, that there's a fear campaign taking place via the media, and you have some people who fear the rise of the Black Messiahs, right? Whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the government, whether it's these quote unquote race soldiers that are hiding behind something called a great replacement theory and whatnot, the fear of the Blackamoor Messiah is so prevalent. in front of our faces right now. It has resurfaced and whatnot. And it is the most dominating theme leading in to 2022 summer. So we're going to be cognizant. We're going to be mindful, right, of what the hell is going on in our surroundings and whatnot. We're going to be mindful of the energy that's coming to this planet July 3rd, right? The Sirius conjunction that Dr. B. Sirius was talking about yesterday when he blew the stage up at Ty Sealy's event and whatnot. That's a video that I also uploaded on his channel because I want y'all to get that download. I need y'all to get that download. Even though a lot of y'all couldn't make it and whatnot, we made sure we took time out of our day, out of making money, out of being with our family and our children and whatnot, to film videos and to upload it so the audience could get this information instead of getting the doom and gloom, instead of getting the propaganda, instead of getting people telling you to tap out and whatnot. And that, whatever they be saying, don't get me worked up because I'll blow this hat off of my head if I get started. But Mama Tassili, who is a successful businesswoman in Atlanta, Georgia, the West End specifically, right? She's a global icon at this point. People come from around the world to tap into her, right? She had her 9th annual event at her property, which is on Ralph David Abernathy, and it was called the Wizards of Raw. Okay, I'm going to take you to my page, and we're going to give you some insight as to what we were doing and whatnot, and how we were celebrating each other at this event, right? So let me just go back. Okay, I'm not logged in, so damn. Hold on. So yes, Rizza Islam was one of the teachers. Brother Ben X was also one of the teachers. My sister right here. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. Let me stop share. Let me log into this tingamajing, and I'll be right back. Mama Pill was a guest speaker. Brother Blue Pill was a guest speaker. They were guest performers. My dude who does blackity black plant-based dripping, he's a legend, right? He's a legend. He's a cool brother too. I got the opportunity to build with him. I got the opportunity to build with brother Yaki. I seen him. There was a lot of people there, man. Our people are powerful. Y'all better stop fronting on each other, bro. I promise you. Y'all need to stop fronting on each other. And fronting on each other, I'm talking about spreading rumors on each other, talking shit about each other, always downplaying each other, minimizing each other, making each other's contributions seem like they're small and whatnot. I'm not talking to you directly, but I'm talking to you directly. That needs to stop. That needs to stop. That needs to cease and desist real quick. You know what I'm talking about? That shit needs to end because y'all missing out on the greatness and the potentiality of what you have to offer each other. Real talk. You have a lot to offer each other. You have a lot to I mean, God damn it. I got a twin brother, right? I was born in the womb with another man. You know what I'm talking about, pause? And me and that man, we don't see eye to eye on everything, but there's no rule that says that we have to. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm talking about? I will never let nobody talk crazy to my brother. I will never let nobody do anything sideways or anything to any one of my family members for that part. You know what I'm talking about? So even though you may have differences in opinions that you might even drummed up and whatnot. The shit might not even be real. It's all in your mind sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even with all of that, you still should find time to respect and to honor your brother and your sister and stop trying to be in these petty ass competitions with them because the shit ain't getting you nowhere. If it was, you'd be winning. And it's not a lot of people out there putting W's up last time that I checked by themselves. You know, by themselves. It's too much backbiting. It's too much fake competition. It's too many people with crab in a barrel mentality. Shout out to Rory. Shout out to Sacred Secret. Shout out to Official Grey Music. Shout out to the Official Zimbar. Shout out to Herb Alchemist. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Red Pill. mine like Red Pill. I told y'all the other day, it's festival season. You know, we outside. You know what I'm saying? The peoples is outside. Blue tore it down. He did his thing. Mama Pill, she did her thing. You know what I'm talking about? Rizza Islam, he did his thing. King Simon, Nisha Nicey did her thing. Dr. Richardson, Brother Starius, America Sutton, Satis, Herb Alchemist. You know what I'm talking about? Atiba, Father Indigo. Everybody bodied that shit, bro. Everybody did their thing, bro. That is a fact. The theme of this year's celebration was Return to the Garden. The theme was Return to the Garden. Okay? And Return to the Garden, what does Return to the Garden mean? Return to the Garden has multiple meanings. What I took from it and what I spoke on, right? What I touched on was the fact that the garden is sustaining. It is a self-sustaining organism or mechanism for our people and whatnot, okay? The garden nourishes us, right? The garden nourishes us, okay? The garden nourishes us through the harvest. The garden nourishes us and replenishes us and invigorates us through the food we eat, through the harvest, through the fruits and the vegetables. But the garden also heals us. It heals us through the herbs. It heals us through the ganja. It heals us through the psilocybins. It heals us through the tinctures and whatnot. Like I said, I seen people rise up from the dead more than 30 years straight. I seen people in hospice, meaning that you about to check out and whatnot. I seen people come through just with herbs and do things that they said that Lazarus have done, rise them up from the dead and whatnot. Also, what does the garden do? The garden provides us shelter in the form of hempcrete, in the form of earthships and whatnot. It provides us shelter, okay? And it also, what else does the garden do? The garden enriches us because the garden provides us harvest. The garden provides us crops. The garden provides us a marketplace. The garden provides us beverages. Each one of those are billion-dollar industries. Talk black to me. That's what the garden does. That's what the garden does. And our people, for some reason, and it's beyond me, I don't know why, but they turned away from the garden. They ran to the hospitals. They ran to pharmacopoeia. They run into the chemicals. The youth don't even be in the garden. They on Molly Percocets. They on Xannies and whatnot, overdosing on chemicals and drugs. Our elders is taking cocktails of pharmacopoeia. They got you trapped and whatnot on 18 different pills and whatnot. None of them, they're all pulling from you. They're all drawing from you. They're taking more from you that they're giving you and whatnot. What the fuck? We're not in the garden. We're not in the garden eating electric foods. They got us in Burger King. They got us in Whole Foods eating GMO and whatnot. They got us all over the place in Popeyes with their chicken and whatnot. Chick-fil-A. They got us eating the processed food, the GMO. They got you niggas eating mock meat, impossible chitlins and shit like that. To this day. You don't want to go raw. Only time you want to go raw is, oh, baby, I like it raw. You're not eating no raw food, though. You eating raw cat. You know what I'm talking about? You in a Chinese restaurant eating stir-fried cats and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't in the garden and whatnot. But even at the Chinese store, even at the Chinese restaurant, when you go and eat with the Indians and whatnot at, Planet Bombay and all of that, they in the back eating vegetables from the garden. You know what I'm talking about? And they out there serving you niggas animals and carcasses and whatnot and whatever the fuck you order and you want to eat because, let them eat cake. If they want to, let them eat what they want to eat. We ain't here trying to tell nobody what to eat. If you niggas want to eat chitlin ass, then you can eat it. That's their mentality. They're going to feed you what you want to eat. So here our good brother goes, RZA, as you know. They've been blocking our brother on socials. The brother was standing strong. You know what I'm talking about? People was, as you could see, he was out there deep. You know what I mean? The people was deep. Showing them love, tapped into the information, into the message. It's my sister right here, Nisha Nicey. She's a superstar in the making. She's already a superstar, but y'all gonna know about her in a few years. When it comes to me co-signing certain artists, and I'm not here tooting my horn and whatnot, but I'll be knowing what I'm talking about. Like I know when I know stars when I see them. I know a star when I see one and whatnot, and she's one of those. I told y'all about Lizzie Jeff. What happened? I told y'all about Cambada. What happened? I was telling you niggas about Rock. What happened? I be knowing. I need to be an A&R. I got to read, you know what I'm saying? I be knowing. Is Destiny in the building? Is my mods in the building? You know what I'm talking about? Is the mods in the buildings? So, yeah, she's definitely deep in her bag. You know what I mean? She's all the way in her bag. Salute to her. You feel me? Salute to the goddess. She's doing big things. Me and her got to lock in on the studio and make some magic and whatnot. I want to be part of that discography. So, yeah, here go Mama Pill, me and Blue. Blue won the second place. They had a whatchamacallit? They had an award for the best vegan food and whatnot. And Blue brought back the Seventh Heaven sea moss. He won second place. That's his crown that he won right there on his head and whatnot. That's his second place crown. But yeah, he brought that sea moss back out. That shit was off the chain and banging and slanging. And, we'll come back to the share screen in a minute. But yeah, Return to the Garden is the quote unquote theme. That was the theme that we were going with. So not only was I talking about the benefits of the garden, but my segment when I spoke, I'm going to upload that video. I just got to get the footage of it. It's about 40 minutes. I'm talking about when I did my presentation yesterday and whatnot. And then Blue Pill came on as Pope Pablo and he delivered a sermon and whatnot to close it out. So in my segment, I spoke about the mycelium network. All right. I'm not sure how many of you on this call or on this live are familiar with the mycelium network. The mycelium network is the vegetative part of a fungus consisting of a network of fine white filaments, right? What they call hyphae. Now, whenever you dig into the soil and whatnot, if you ever go into the roots of a tree and whatnot, you will see exactly what it is that I'm speaking of. The mycelium network is a network of vines. It's a network of fine white filaments that exist in the quote unquote, it's an interwoven filament hyphae that forms in the vegetative portion of the thallus of a fungus and is often submerged in another body, right? As of soil or organic matter of the tissues of a host. right? So whenever you go into the soil, you'll be able to see the mycelium network, right? The mycelium network are vital importance to the soil. They break down organic material. They make their own raw material available again for the use in the ecosystem. And on top of that, 92% of plant families interact with the fungi. Okay. Through the hyphae, the mycelium breaks down and absorbs surrounding organic matter into nutrients that could be absorbed and used as nourishment. Mycelia makes up a critical part of their ecosystems by aiding in the decomposition and regeneration process. So the mycelium network is an interwoven, interconnected network that's almost an unseen network. But just because you don't see that network because it's under your feet, you see what that network produces by the flora, the flowers, the fauna, the plant that's being grown, the plants that are being grown, the vegetables that are being grown, the trees that are being grown, the grass that's being, everything that comes up from the earth is responsible. The mycelium network is responsible in aiding and abetting the growth of that. While most fleshly mushrooms emerge from mycelium and reproduce in a few days, the mycelium from which they arise can live for decades to hundreds of years. The largest known organism on Earth is a mycelial mat of honey mushroom that is more than 2,000 years old.
To this day. To this day.
And I'm definitely sure that when you go into the Amazon and to other places like the rainforest where they haven't even gotten into as of yet, that there's networks that are whole thousands and thousands of years older than that. They just found an ancient forest inside of a sinkhole in China and whatnot. There's all kind of things that are surfacing during this times because we are in some magical times, and they're utilizing the art of distraction and whatnot to take you away from the goal and to take you away from the jubilee and to take you away from the shit that's going on a global galactical level. I'm here to let you know these things. But the reason why I pointed out the mycelium network is because I was making a comparison of the mycelium network to the network that I belong to. And I cannot speak for anybody else's network because I don't belong to everybody's network. I know that the network that I belong to is a network of unseen, underground, interwoven, and connected, right, roots to a culture that we feed continuously, right? Arduously, effortlessly. We give them the nutrients. We give them the healing. We give them the herbs. We give them the light. We give them the energy. We give them the information. We give them the lectures. We bring them the speakers. We do all of these things. And then you see the fruits that it bears when you go outside or when you go amongst people in festivals like this, or when you surround yourself with intellectual, melanated people who can uplift you with the things that they bring through their products or their services. That's a fact. That's a fact. And if it were not for this network, I don't even know where we would be as a people. If it were not for this network, I don't even know where we would be as a motherfucking culture and whatnot. That's a fact, because I promise you, if we were to leave it up to our uncles and cousins and whatnot that we call the knuckle draggers, we would be in a lot more hot water than we already are in. You know what I'm talking about? You think shit is bad now. Imagine if you were to remove that network. Imagine if you were to remove the protection of the ancestors. Imagine if you were to remove the protection of the elders and whatnot, the wise counsel of the elders. Imagine if you were to remove the contributions of the master teachers, burn all of those books and whatnot. Imagine if you were to do that, what kind of predicament we would be in when the brothers and sisters who are trying to change their lives have nothing to fucking reach for and whatnot, because it wouldn't even be there. It wouldn't even be there. So this network that we can identify, right, in the vegetative kingdom, this network aids and assist us. This network it is of utmost importance. We don't even talk about it enough. It is of utmost importance. I highly recommend that those in the audience go and do some deep diving. In the lecture, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to touch on it and whatnot. I'm going to go a little bit deeper in things of it. I'm going to bring you some more research. And like I said, anything that I'm talking about, you could go online and research it. You don't have to wonder. This is not speculation. I don't do speculations. I don't just shoot from the hip. I don't talk about, what somebody came and told me in a dream. And there's nothing against anyone in their dream states and whatnot, but that's not what I do. Yes, today is 666. Today is 666. Yes, the subconscious community, roots and culture. Exactly. Right. The subconscious community, what lies underneath, not necessarily the conscious community, what you see on the surface, but what lies underneath. Who's the one who's really working the magic behind the scenes? Who's really pulling strings behind the scenes and making things happen? Who's lining things up the right way behind the scenes? We see people when they show up and whatnot, but what about behind the scenes? I spoke on this the other day. What about the healing that's taking place in dark rooms and whatnot? What about the individual healing, the collective healing? When people go and heal, they're not doing it on live and whatnot. When people go and heal and when they're dealing with their shadows and whatnot, doing their shadow work, they're not doing that on Zoom and shit like that. They're not doing that in the open, even though I would definitely, it wouldn't surprise me if that becomes a trend and whatnot, because, shit is trendy these days. But as it stands from my standpoint right now, that's not the modus operandi that individuals are doing. They're doing the work behind the scenes, behind the veil. They're doing the work in the darkness. In the mycelium network, when you're dealing with harvest and whatnot, there's a lot of things that take place under the UV rays at night, under the moonlight, in the darkness. That's when they say that's when the fruits and the vegetables grow, not in the sunlight and whatnot. In the darkness, when you're usually either sleeping or you're not tending to the garden and whatnot, that's when the growing takes place. So when we're growing, when we're taking care of our quote unquote growth and development, sometimes that's during the shadow hours or the witching hours. Sometimes that's at night when our body is replenishing itself. Sometimes that's in dream state. Sometimes that's in the astral realm. Sometimes that's when you're under the quote unquote medicines and whatnot, the ayahs, the shrooms and things of that nature and whatnot. And we come out of these trance-like states, or we come out of these dream states, or we come out of these quote unquote ceremonies and whatnot. And then we feel ourselves more lighter, more enlightened, right? We have certain answers that we're seeking and things of that nature. Okay. And then when we go into the light, or when we step out, or when we show up because we've already been prepared to show up, and what we just not popping out to pop out. When you do the work and you get your shit together, then you pop out. Even when you in the gym and whatnot and you getting right, you're not going to be broadcasting that to the rest of the world. You're going to get right in the shadows and whatnot. You're going to get your body right. And then you're going to step out with, I ain't see nobody go to Dominican Republic to get their stomach put in their ass and whatnot and go live and show us the process. You know what I'm talking about? They just erase all of their old pictures and then pop up with some new ones on the gram and whatnot. Like, oh, look at me. I've been doing tummy teas and shit. No, you didn't. No, you went to nip and tuck. Stop playing with us. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that's what you did. But you were still in the shadows. You were still in the darkness. You had to take 6 to 8 weeks to heal and whatnot. You know what I mean? You shut your page down and then you popped out. So that's what we were building on. That's what we were building on. And I was reminding everybody in attendance the greatness that each one of them possess. And the fact that we came together, and the fact that we outside, hashtag outside, that's the hashtag, because we're going to be outside all summer, soaking up that sun, making things happen in these communities and whatnot. And bringing certain things together that need to be brought together and whatnot. But the simple fact that we were all outside when we were being held in our houses for hostage for about 2 years and whatnot, and now we back outside to get that vitamin D. Now we back outside to see each other and whatnot. Now we back outside to tap into the artistry and the wizardry and all of the talent that our brothers and sisters possess when they get on those stages and they share their light and whatnot. That's something that can uplift an individual who may have gotten there, who feels real down about life. They feel down about themselves. They feel down about their situation. But you in the audience and you seeing somebody who might have been going through some deeper, darker shit than you was going through, but they get on that stage and they let their motherfucking light shine. And they're also relatable because they not hiding behind ego and whatnot. They'll keep it real and be like, yo, I had a rough winter. I had a very rough, the brother Dr. B Serious, he got up there and he talked about how many times he tried to take himself out. You know what I mean? And this is a brother who has multiple platinum and gold, right? He's a producer. He produced for Dr. Dre and all of them back in the days. He's a very successful artist and whatnot. But life happens. And people think that trinkets and shit like that, people think that these trinkets like designer clothes or a fucking award or a medal or something, they think that that makes the next person better than them. And that makes another person almost oblivious or immune to depression, anxiety, and mental health issues. And I'm here to let you know that don't mean shit. There's people with things that you would probably die for or kill for. And they still haven't figured this shit out. And they still looking and searching and trying to find some source of happiness and healing and whatnot. You feel me? And it is what it is. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. The only thing that there's to be ashamed of is when you're looking for some help or some assistance or some answers and you can't find nobody. That's the shame. That means that your community have failed you. That means that your community and your network and your tribe is failing. You got the wrong tribe that you in. You in the wrong circles. Because there should be somebody in your circle that addresses those issues or could be able to assist you and point you in the right direction where you could receive the things that you need, especially in these days and times. Because these days and times are no joke. The planetary alignments, the energy that's coming to this planet, the energy that's been bombarding this planet since 2020, it already been down. It's not like it's about to happen, my geniuses. It's been happening. The Great Reset is in front of it's on the tip of your nose. The Great Reset is in front of your face. The Great Reset is what you see when you turn on your TV. The Great Reset is what you see when you step outside of your house and you see that, and it looks like the whole world has gone mad. And there's a few things that are now upside down. And there's also a few things that are now right side up and whatnot. That is affectionately the Great Reset. Something has to fall in order for something to rise. You will see many things fall in this lifetime, and you will also see many things rise. We are still on a binary planet. This is still a dualistic existence.
To this day.
This is still a dualistic existence and whatnot. So you will see hot and cold. You will experience the seasons and whatnot. There's still left hand, right hand. There's still up and down. There's still male, female, regardless of what those people on Fox 5 and CNBC try to tell you. This planet is still ruled by the binary. It's still, if you go into the emerald tablets of Thoth, right? The universal principles and laws, they still remain the same. And the majority of them speak to duality, the law of correspondence, the law of genders, the law of vibrations. It's just different polarities. And to have balance these days, that is a juggling act. Everybody can't pull that one off. So salute to everybody out there who's maintaining homeostasis and is maintaining balance in their lives and whatnot and can maintain the dark and the light, because the shit is not easy. I'm seeing a lot of unbalanced scales and whatnot. And once again, I'm not judging. I'm just smudging. I need to smudge myself. Hold on. Where's the light? I ain't judging you niggas. I'm just smudging you. You know what I'm talking about? But that's real. You know, that's real. And that somewhat brings me to my next topic that I want to touch on, right? Because like I said, once again, this is just a disclaimer, right? Because I always have to make sure that my feet are clean before I start to walk and whatnot. I always got to make sure that I'm not stepping and, it's with dirty feet. My disclaimer is I'm not really tooting my own horn, but I do have to remind the audience because sometimes we have short memory spans, and it's all good because we live in a world of intense distractions and whatnot. I sometimes forget shit that happened in the rising and whatnot. Later on in the day, I got to sit down and just, recalibrate my whole day because so much stuff could go on. So I said before on the show on many occasions that, I've been able to tap into some of the same things that our brother Al Kibalon has come on his show. And he's been speaking of, being in divine alignment, right? There you go. Smudge yourself out. Being in divine alignment, right? And the way that my alignment works with the great divine is that I'm able to name certain type of lectures, right? I'm able to name titles of my lectures, right? And when I name the title of the lectures, that comes from a download, right? That's usually a download that I get when I sit in meditation and whatnot. And I ask the ancestors to guide me and to give me the right type of direction so I could walk in the right path, right? So the ancestors this time when I was doing my, meditation, I'm like, what should I do for the month of June? I want to get back out there. I want to do some teaching and whatnot. I want to, I have something to offer. Point me in the right direction. So the ancestors was like, bring back fear of a Black and more Messiah. And I was like, really? That's what you want me to do? And the ancestors was like, yes, I want you to bring back fear of a Black and more Messiah and name it Jason, right? And I was like, okay, I would, I'm submitting, you know what I mean? I'm going to do that. So here you have the flyer behind me, right? I did the flyer, fear of a Black and more Messiah, and I put together the quote unquote lecture. I even went ahead and did a commercial. Here's the commercial, right? So when I was doing the lecture, I was like, okay, there's been a lot of mass shootings taking place. And there's a conversation that needs to be had about this whole thing with the great replacement. There's a conversation that needs to be had about the ritual that took place on a Scorpio blood moon with the Buffalo shooting, which initiated multiple shootings afterward. However, there were still shootings taking place before that. They just were not reporting on it with the propensity that they're reporting on it right now, right? Oh, Kodak's real name is Jason. Okay, we're gonna look out for Kodak. We're gonna keep our eyes open for Kodak, right? Thank you for that. So then the Tulsa shooting happened on the same day of the Tulsa massacre, right? And it was a melanated doctor that got murdered as a result of that shooting and whatnot. And it was a melanated shooter. So I'm like, this is interesting. Then I started deep diving and I started doing some research on the shooters in these mass shootings and whatnot. Come to find out, when I was reading the quote unquote manifesto of the Buffalo supermarket shooter, who I feel like carried out an assassination on the on that brother who was the ex-cop who was an inventor, I was like, look, inside of the manifesto, he admitted that he took 2 of the jab shots, right? So then that put me on a rabbit hole hunt to say, I want to find out if everybody, right? If everybody who is one of these shooters and whatnot, starting with the New York City subway shooter, going all the way up to what we see taking place right now. I want to see if I could do the research to find out their medical status, because it is of my quote, it's, my what's really beginning to stand out to me, and what's beginning to, be shown to me, is that a lot of these quote unquote gunmen right, are vaxxed. Okay. So then that also brings up the aspect of Jason, right? And shout out to my good brother Billy Carson, right? I don't steal bars and whatnot. If I hear some information and it speaks to me, I'm gonna give you who gave the information the props. So I saw a video with Billy Carson, and he was talking about mind control, MK Ultra, and he was speaking about the mass shootings, and if these mass shootings had anything to do with MK Ultra, the fact that some of these quote unquote shooters are being turned on via microwaves, or via some type of whatchamacallit, some type of signals and whatnot, to where they're becoming activated like Manchurian candidates, right? So that also brought me down a rabbit hole. And then he brought up Jason Bourne, right? The movie Jason Bourne with Matt Damon and whatnot. And the fact that Jason Bourne was a spinoff, it was actually based off of Timothy McVeigh's story, right? And Timothy McVeigh was in the quote unquote armed services. And as a result of him being in the armed services, he wound up becoming part of these trial runs and whatnot, where they were utilizing soldiers, and they were taking these soldiers and they were doing tests on these soldiers, and they were manipulating these soldiers and whatnot to do certain type of things. And there was a level of torture, there was a level of chemical chemical manipulation and whatnot. And as a result of it, these soldiers were winding up to turn into these quote unquote remote control killers and things of that nature. And he basically bucked that system. And then when he went into Oklahoma and bombed the building, that was like his get back for what the government did to him as a United States soldier, right? We saw a movie in the 80s or maybe the early 90s called Jacob's Ladder. And in Jacob's Ladder, they also pointed out how the government was utilizing LSD and other psychotropics and whatnot to implement what is known as an MK Ultra program on their quote unquote soldiers in Vietnam, to turn them into these mindless quote unquote Manchurian candidates. And then we have the Manchurian Candidate reboot with Denzel Washington, where they laid that out specifically and showed you how individuals can be turned on and clicked on by quote unquote radio signals and whatnot. But now we're in a day and time where you have nanobots inside of your bodies and whatnot. These tiny computers were injected into almost 1 billion people's bodies and whatnot. So 5G and other things have the ability to turn on these quote unquote signals. And then yesterday, our good brother at the Wizards of Raw, Dr. B. Sirius, he was talking about the parasites that we have inside of us that communicate with each other. There was an article that just came out that said that there's a parasite that resides inside of the human body that makes each other, that makes people attractive to each other. So your parasite is like, you know what I mean? You think it's a hot girl summer, but your parasite is communicating with another nigga's parasite, usually dudes with the Gerald Levert bellies and whatnot. So those parasites want to procreate with the other parasites. So these parasites, the parasites is on Tinder, my nigga. The parasites is on Bumble and whatnot. The parasites is having a hot girl summer. That part, the parasites are procreating and fornicating and whatnot and multiplying, and they have so much control over the human brain and the human mind and your decisions and your proclivities that you would be baffled by how much control that they have. And these are some of the oldest organisms on the planet. How about that? Go and do the research. Go and do the research, right? Yes, human hacking is taught at MIT and Texas Tech. Exactly. Human hacking. So it is of no coincidence that the majority of these lone wolf shooters have either military histories or they were in contact with one of the federal agencies before they carried out their quote unquote shootings and whatnot. They're always on the radar. They always have a dossier on them. They always are familiar with them. Nobody just pops out of nowhere. Nobody, there's no, and those gunmen that pop out, they don't make the news. You don't hear about them. They're not sensationalized. It's the ones who are the agents that you hear about. Those stories stay on the quote unquote minds of the people forever, right? So make a long story short, that was one of the things with the whole theme that I was getting at, right? But then yesterday, I woke up to this news that one of my Scorpion brothers, right? One of my fellow Scorpion brothers, okay? And I call him my brother because I see a brother in that man. I'm not one of these goofies who are out here saying, oh, if a nigga's a gangster rapper or if he was in the streets and whatnot, I'm scared of him and he's not my brother because I'm so conscious. No, that's not how we do it. Okay. Like I said, I represent a certain segment of the streets. So when I see people that are in the streets that are working on getting themselves out of the streets, I see myself in them. So the reason why I call it Fear of a Black Messiah is because I always point to the messianic ones. And the messianic ones are not necessarily the ones that you see on YouTube that are the teachers or the master teachers or the preachers and whatnot. Usually the messianic ones could be found in the motherfucking hood or what is called the trenches. And the messianic force that they have is that they're able to move people in the trenches, or they're able to move the soldiers that we have in these gangs, or they're able to show the motherfucking the other brothers and sisters who are out there putting their lives at risk and whatnot, that if they can change, if they can make their lives better, if they could speak positivity and whatnot, then that's something, then those people who are living vicariously through them as artists and whatnot, they get inspired, they get influenced. These artists give them the permission to be cool. These artists give them the permission to be smart. These artists give them the permission to be spiritual. These artists give them the permission to change, because these are the same artists that gave them the permission to hustle. They gave them the permission to sell drugs. They gave them the permission to kill. They gave them the permission to rob and steal. They are the ones who are influencing. So they're the influencers for multiple generations. I see old people, not old. Well, I see old people, right? The old people like 60 and 70, great grandparents listening to trap music and to drill music and things of that nature, bro. So I want to just tap into one of his last posts, because we could judge individuals based on their past. We could judge individuals based on what we think we know about them. We could judge individuals based off of their discography. We could judge individuals based off of a song that we heard that they made 18 years ago. Shout out to We Are Flatbush in the building. You know what I mean? We could do all of that, but that's bird shit. You know what I'm talking about? If you're going to judge anybody, if you take the position to where you feel that you could judge a man or a woman, what you should do before you even open up your mouth to begin judgment is that you should find out what the vibration these individuals were on before you start speaking on them, right? Because you could be you could be the, you know what I mean? You could wind up becoming the motherfucking clown or the fool or the goofy because you speaking out of term and you don't know what you're talking about. So here's one of the brothers posting whatnot. Okay. Shout out to brother Ampu. He put this up, man, and brought this to my attention. And even at the festival, Sister Shaw Bates and a few people were telling me that this brother was working with the youth against violence. He was out there helping his community and helping to fix the community that he felt that he played a part in destroying, right? So he said in his post, 29 innocent victims in 7 days, 19 children and 10 OGs gunned down for nothing. As I'm sitting here thinking, dog, I have no answers, right? But I do feel as if we need to return to the big God. Lynching has been going on since the beginning of our time to our people. Though we're still going through it, in a sense, it did get better for us from the fight our ancestors put up for us. Martin, Malcolm, Rosa, Fred Hampton, etc. The only difference I've seen between our ancestors and us is through every tragedy, struggle, and battle they had, is every instance it happened, they gathered and prayed to the big God and came together as one. That's how songs even became to be made. Same shit we make millions off of now, talking bullshit, dividing each other up, racing to see who can reach the most material gains. There's no love out here or real reasoning, just lust and wishes of having tickets. Luke 9:26. For whoever is ashamed of me and of my words, of him will the Son of Man be ashamed when he comes in his glory and the glory of the Father and of the holy angel. Peace and blessings to everybody. Thug love.
To this day. To this day.
Right? So that's from my good brother Trouble, aka School. That's him on the left, next to Young Dolph, who's also a messianic one who got taken out too early, right? These are the messianic ones. Their memories, right? They come from that strain of Nipsey Hussle. Their memories, right? Their words, their deeds, their actions, what they stood for, right? It's either going to last forever or it's going to be forgotten by time the quote unquote Instagram scroll or the timeline scroll takes over, and then they wash them away, right? And also a brother by the name of Skullduggery made transition. What does trouble mean? Go and do the research. Go and give me the etymology on that, Big Neff TV. Do me that favor and go and get the etymology on trouble and bring that back to us while we on this live. Let's do that in real time. Let's be interactive on shows like this. Let's show each other that we here to work with each other, not here to judge. We here to teach. So go and get me the etymology of trouble. Why don't you? Okay. So, you know, there's power in the name, right? CNN is spreading misinformation about the mass shootings. Let me know what they spreading misinformation and how, right? Atlanta's hurt right now. He was a legend in Atlanta streets. He's an underground. He might not have been a national star, but I'm in Atlanta right now as I speak. I've been in Atlanta since 1997, right? I've been back and forth in Atlanta from 97. I've seen a lot, I know a lot, and I heard a lot. And I know that that man is highly respected everywhere in Atlanta because of the way that he carried himself, right? Yeah, Skullduggery from No Limit, he made transition as well. And we do know that it comes in threes, right? We do know that it comes in threes. The question that I want to pose to the audience, and it has me somewhat baffled, is how is it and why is it? And is it of any coincidence that every single time one of these rappers attempt to turn their lives around and speak on positivity and go another route and whatnot and you know, publicly put it out there that they want to help their people, how is it that they wind up always coming up dead? I'm wondering. Yes, long live Bankroll Fresh, long live trouble. The definition of trouble is difficulty or problems. I had trouble finding somewhere to park. No, that's the definition of trouble, King. I want the etymology. You got to go to the etymology dictionary, right? We know what trouble means in the Webster's dictionary. We want to edify our education a bit further. This is not, we're not in quote unquote elementary. We need the etymology of the word, not the definition or the synonym. We don't need the thesaurus or Webster's definition. You know what I'm talking about? We need the etymology. Agitation of the mind, emotional turmoil. That's trouble, right? Trouble, disturbance. So even with the symbology that we see, right? Thank you, both of the brothers and sisters. Thank you, Big Neff, for that, and thank you, my moving crew support team. Because even though I do, let me dial it back a little bit, and I don't want to be condescending. I want to say thank you for the Webster's definition of it, because that's essential as well. However, we also want to get the etymology so we could build on top of this foundation that we're building on. So let me just start with the Webster's dictionary definition of trouble, right? Trouble, agitation of the mind, emotional turmoil, right? Trouble or disturbance. So, with the RIP of a trouble, right? If we want to look at it symbology, because the great divine is still speaking in signs, right? With the death of trouble, right? With the loss of trouble, can we begin to say, well, the troubles that we're all identifying in, the troubles that we are seeing in our movement or in our walk of life and whatnot, could we bury that? Could we put that to rest? Could we RIP our troubles? You dig what I'm saying? Could we put that behind us? Because, you're always going to have adversity in life. Don't ever try, I know when we pray and whatnot, we try to pray for, things to get better and whatnot. And that's rightfully so. You deserve that. Everybody deserves to have a little bit lifted off of their quote unquote shoulders and whatnot. But I want to bury trouble. I want to bury the trouble that we're going through. Not the adversity, because adversity builds character and whatnot. That's just, that's just life, how that shit works. That's just a chess game. But the trouble is not. So there is power in names. Sometimes you have to change your names. Henceforth, why his AKA was Scoob, right? He didn't always evoke trouble. And, trouble, he's a Scorpio. So I used to see a lot of the scorpionic ways in him and whatnot. And he would, I remember even when he came out, his first song was like a 50 Cent type of style song when he was getting at all of the rappers about robbing them and whatnot. He was a thorn in the side of a lot of the quote unquote, a lot of the Atlanta rappers in the beginning and whatnot. Remember him and Alley Boy, they used to put a lot of pressure on these rappers, but then he fell back a little bit. And he wasn't out there. He wasn't outside. He wasn't all in the way like that. So trouble, 1200s, right? 1200s is a verb from Old French troubler. Metathesis of turbler or turbler, to trouble, disturb, make cloudy, stir up, and mix. From vulgar Latin. Thank you so much, my moving crew support team. Right? And DBH facts only. I appreciate everybody that dropped that information. Right? I appreciate everybody. Turbid, muddy, foul, with extraneous matter, thick, not clear. Use of liquids having the leaves disturbed. Right? So we know that the word trouble is not the most positive frequency. Right? Agitation, 1200s, right? The agitation of the mind, emotional turmoil. How many of us been going through trouble in the last few weeks or last few months or last few years? How many of our people have been experiencing all of this trouble, right? How many? How many? A lot of people been experiencing what is known as turbulence in their lives and whatnot. This great reset is bringing a lot of trouble or turbulence into a lot of people's reality. These mass killings and whatnot, these mass shootings and things of that nature popping up everywhere. They just had a shooting in Philadelphia over the weekend. 13 people shot, 3 people dead, right on South Street, right on the strip, right on the popular strip. Okay, right there in the heart of Philadelphia, a mass shooting and things of that nature. 3 bodies. On some hood shit, right? To everybody that's been going through some things, let's go ahead and ritualize us putting trouble behind us. Let's ritualize, us burying our troubles and whatnot. Let's ritualize us putting our troubles to rest so they could rise in paradise. So first and foremost, rise in paradise to my good brother Trouble, aka Scoob, my fellow Scorpion. He was born 11/4, November the 4th and whatnot. We are going to definitely do our due diligence and speak positively on your name and make sure that you're edified in a way that you were attempting, and not just attempting, you changed. You got your butterfly wings. Maybe you realize that your time was up and whatnot, and a lot of the work that you've done, the way that you put your contract together, you was just out of here and whatnot, and you're on to the next one. But based off of the fact that you were dedicating your quote unquote last days in your walk in life to the children and to your community, and you were fully aware of the impact of some of the negative vibrations and frequencies that were put out in the community as a result off of your tongue and whatnot, I salute you. I honor you, good brother. And I already know that you're going to be in a very good place. And your city is never going to forget you, and your fans neither and whatnot, you know. And the way that he got murdered too is an interesting conversation, right? It was a domestic dispute, right? He went over a young lady's house after a performance that he had, and that young lady's ex-boyfriend barged in the house and shot him in the chest, right? That young lady's ex-boyfriend, right? Because there obviously was a crime of passion, right? There obviously was the closure obviously was not there, meaning that the quote unquote boyfriend or ex-boyfriend did not want to let that shit go, right? There wasn't a clear break. So ladies, one of the things that I would share with you and the fellas as well is that when you get into these new situationships, or when you get into situations where you need somebody to come and scratch your itch and whatnot, or you just got, whatchamacallit, you meet somebody on one of these dating apps, or you're having yourself a hot girl summer and you just want to, get down and whatnot, for the benefit of the safety of the man or woman that you're inviting into your house, or just to pull up with you and go and eat and whatnot, we want to make sure that everything is safe. You know what I'm talking about? We just want to make sure. And that goes vice versa to the men as well. If you still have something that's attached, that you still have attachments, you still have these bonds that you have not broken and whatnot, just keep it 1,000. That's my thing. Just to let the person know. And then they'll be able to decide, am I going to be in your house butt ass naked with no defense and whatnot, doing the thug-izzle and whatnot, you know what I'm talking about? Doing the horizontal yoga, and then somebody either crawls through the damn window or opens the front door with their key, or kicks down the hotel door and starts spraying things while they crying and whatnot. You know what I mean? Because it gets real out here. And the way that we've been bottled up in the house for these years, these past 2 years, the way that people have been so quote unquote, they've been suppressing a lot of pain, agony, fear, lust, a whole bunch of shit. Be very mindful that this summer is going to be, and we could talk about the alignments. I'm going to get into that in a minute as well. I want to cover multiple grounds to just show you the importance of what this upcoming lecture is going to be about. We're going to touch on a lot of things, right? We're going to touch on a lot of things. So let me go to this. Yeah, but protect your neck. You know what I mean? Protect your neck. Stay dangerous this summer. Be on point, because this is the current astrological weather. This is from Aquarius Maximus. Shout out to Aquarius Maximus. To all of my quote unquote astrologists in the building, you already know what it is. Jupiter and Aries, murderous ideologies and high-powered weaponry, right? Mars and Aries, that's weapons. The South Node in Scorpio, deadly endings to karmic contracts. Saturn and Aquarius, mass casualties. So we are on our way to a red summer, not based off of what Red Pill said. This is what the universe is saying. This is what the cosmics is saying. This is the cosmic. This is the cosmic. This is the temperature of the summer, y'all. This is the astrological weather, right? So Nigeria church shooting, women and kids amongst 50 killed in a satanic massacre by twisted gunmen, right? So it's things going down, right? It's some things going down. Shout out to Benny the Butcher. He did a Pray for Buffalo song. Yeah, I don't want to get one of those infractions, right? So, like I said, the great divine is speaking through me and speaking to me. And when I put this lecture together, none of this shit that I'm just showing you was even out there like that. There wasn't none of these things taking place. But as we move towards the 12th, I'm receiving material on top of material on top of material, and it ain't stopping. It's still flowing and whatnot. You feel me? It's still flowing. It is not stopping. It's coming nonstop. So I'm going to be, I'm going to be in alignment. I'm going to be tapped in. I'm going to be a servant of the ancestors who send me this information, and I'm going to interpret it into this lecture and put it down the way that it needs to be put down and whatnot. I would highly suggest for anybody moving around this summer or from right now moving forward, just move with the information that I'm sharing with you. And if there's conflict, road rage and shit like that, you might want to avoid that. If conflict is on your is on your doorstep and whatnot, you may either want to avoid it or you may even want to handle it with some forms of diplomacy. Or if you with the shit, you want to bomb first. If you with the shit, you just want to bomb first. You don't want to wait on nobody to do nothing to you. But have your faculties in order. You know what I mean? Meaning, don't run around these streets not sober, not with your head on swivel and whatnot. Be sober, be attentive. Don't get into crowds where these are crowds that have known to have, some type of ratchetness. Don't be around crowds of people where you mixed in with gang members and shit like that, or active shooters. You know what I'm talking about? In ratchet places. That's not what you want to be doing for the next few weeks and things of that nature. You would fare better at festivals like the one that I was just showing you earlier. You would fare better at the Juneteenth celebration. You would fare better at the Return of the God celebration that our sister Kateri is doing in August, right? It's going to be huge. I promise you. We're going to have some adverts for that on this channel. You'll see that very soon. Yes, Aries is the Lord of War. Okay. 5-car pileup in Miami the other day, and cats hopped out and started shooting. Road rage here has hit a whole new level. You damn right it has, especially in places where there's open carry, right? Especially where there's places where the governor has allowed individuals to just go into the gun store and just grab as many weapons as they want, like Georgia, like Florida, like Texas. Make sure you arm yourself. If you have the opportunity, if you have the if you have the legal opportunity to do such, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You feel me? You don't got to be a killer, but you should know how to shoot at this point in life and whatnot. You should know how to shoot, or your child or your man or somebody close to you should know how to swing that iron and whatnot. Either shoot or chop, you know what I mean? Some type of defense needs to be established in many people's lives. Single mothers, single fathers, couples. You know what I'm talking about? That's not a white man's thing. That's technology. That's being in tune with technology and knowing that he who has the most updated technology can win the war easily. Okay, that's how wars are won. Or don't get fooled, my niggas. They don't defeat armies with rocks and fucking stones. Like them Afghanistans and them Iraqis, they had rocket launchers. Don't get it fucked up. Don't get it messed up. So, that's sort of my highlight of the weekend that I'm going over. I'm just giving y'all a brief touch up of what the weekend or the strong end was looking like. And it was a very enlightening, uplifting, it restored my faith in Atlanta. I was up here talking crazy about Atlanta. You feel me? And I had to apologize to Atlanta last night because, like I said, when you're not outside, when you don't see the people, when you don't know what the vibe is like, when you don't really tap in, you could begin to assume a lot of things. But my faith is somewhat restored. I'm not letting my guards down though. Not letting my guards down. I'm still on the fence. I've still got one eye on these niggas, but I see the potential. I see the potentiality. June 11th, right? The day before we have this lecture take place, we're going to be meeting on Stone Mountain on the rising, the sunrise, meaning we'll be up there for a sunrising ceremony and whatnot, a grand rising ceremony. I believe the sun rises around 7 something, right? It might be earlier than that, but I'm going to be on top of that mountain when the motherfucking sun comes up. And it's going to be about 100 of us already who have replied and whatnot. So we're going to be deep. So if you want to be a part of that ceremony, I highly suggest that y'all pull up and be a part of that ceremony. You are all invited. Okay. You are all invited. We are inviting everybody. This is something that Black Magic 363, KTL Media, King Simon, and a few other people that are in our network are collectively doing to bring the people out. And during this ceremony, we're going to be doing drums. You know what I mean? We're going to be, we may do some singing. We're going to charge the mountain. We're going to charge that crystal up. We're going to collectively come together the way that we supposed to be coming together. And we're going to do some work and whatnot, breathing work. We're going to do some invocations. You feel me? We're going to dance on that stone and whatnot. We're going to beat the drums and whatnot. We might blow some sacraments and things of that nature. I'm going to have some of these products that I rolled out this weekend called NFTs. You know what I'm talking about? And it's going to be dope. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. You know what I mean? So if y'all out there, if you in the A, if you in Alabama, if you in Florida, if you in Savannah, if you in Jacksonville, it don't matter. Oh, sunrise is 4:50 to 5:15. Damn, they went all the way back. I remember during Ramadan, sunrise was like 7-ish. Sheesh. Well, we ain't doing sunrise. We'll be there early in the rising, though. You know what I mean? You smell me? We'll be there early in the rising from the hours of like 6:30 going up to noon and whatnot. We'll be up there for a minute. We're going to be turned up. We're not going to be loud and boisterous, though. We're just going to be contained. We're going to contain our energy because we don't want nobody feeding off of us. But that's what we're doing. I'll make the announcement at the gathering on Stone Mountain if we're going to be doing the live lecture the next day. Like I said, it's just based off of how many people reply. If we get about, like I said, 50 to 60 sales because there's going to be a brunch along with a lecture. So that's going to be a few extra dollars. But text the number, let me see. Let me put the number to text. Text this number and you'll be able to tap in. Okay. But yeah, this is one of the, like I said, we got events that we'll be doing live in Atlanta. Now that everybody is down here collectively, Brother Rich is out here, King Simon is out here, Red and the Blue is out here. So yeah, it's time to work. It's definitely time to work. And the people are asking for it. So we're gonna activate immediately. You know what I mean? We've been waiting patiently, but it's time to activate. So, this will be one of the first gatherings that we have as this collective. And during the gathering, we're also going to talk about what's coming up and things of that nature. We'll talk to the people directly. You and the wife are looking for a retreat. Have some security while you're out there. Yeah, we'll have some security. You know what I'm saying? We got people who open carry and whatnot. We'll have security. We good. You know, we rolling with the ancestors, so there's nothing to worry about. But text the number 470-660-4706 if you're interested in the quote unquote Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah demonstration that's taking place Sunday. Like I said, right now I'm trying to decide if it's going to be just Zoom only or if we're going to implement a live aspect, which is going to be a brunch, right? At a vegan spot called Unity Cafe. They have fonio pancakes. They have some bomb ass food. I promise you. They got some fire ass food, bro. I promise you. I shit you not. The brunch that they deliver is upstairs. You know what I'm talking about? It's upstairs. They got waffles, they got pancakes, they got grits, and all of it is vegan. It's all plant-based and it's good. I might be in Leimert Park for the 19th for Juneteenth. Lizzie Jeff is doing something. I'll keep y'all updated on that. And we're also going to Jamaica before the end of the summer. So we'll also keep you updated on that. And there's only 40 people that we're capping the trip at 40 people. So it's going to be first come, first serve for our Jamaica trip. I'm thinking about the Lionsgate, which is August the 8th. But based off of what I just saw with the brother Sirius and whatnot, Dr. B Sirius, and he's talking about the Sirius alignment July the 3rd, I'm going to have to talk to my team and see what date makes the most sense and whatnot, because I do want to be somewhere off the grid for this alignment where we could be in the mountains. We could be, the energy would be different. We'd be off the grid. We put our phones away. We get some breathing in, some plant-based medicines in. You could really take advantage of a day like that. I just want to be in a waterfall on a day that Sirius is aligning. I want to be on the beach. I want to be drinking coconut water. I want to eat a mango. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to be in a concrete jungle. So I'll let y'all know. We'll keep you updated. We working. Just work with us. When people be like, yo, Red, keep up the good work, my response to that is keep supporting me. It's a two-way street. If you want us to keep up the good work and if you want us to keep going and doing it big and whatnot, then y'all got to support. It's simple as that. It's as plain as that. You know what I mean? I'm going to show up regardless, though. I'm going to just let you know that. I'm not, and to be honest with you, people think support is monetary, right? And it's like, nah, y'all missing the big picture. Support means when somebody is doing something, you show up. Support means when somebody is doing something, you share that information with your network the same way that you share rumors and shit like that. Support means when somebody is doing something, you say, yo, is there any way that I can help you complete your mission or your task and whatnot? People got resources. People got bridges. Like I say to everybody that I meet and whatnot, it's great to finally meet you. You know what I mean? Because people be like, I've been watching you for years. And I'm like, damn, I feel deprived and whatnot, because here it is. You've been doing shit for years. You've been watching me, but I ain't been watching you. You know what I mean? I don't even know what you do. I don't know what you bring to the table. I don't know what resources you got, but you know everything about me though. So when you meet me, just let me know what you got to offer, because the minute you meet me, you know what I got to offer. I'm just not on the internet doing makeup tutorials, my nigga, and smiling and taking selfies and whatnot. If you see me on the internet, usually 98% of the time, I'm adding value. Okay, so that's how that shit works. It's a reciprocation. If I'm giving you value, you should be giving me value as well, right? Because the monetary aspect of it, let's just be clear about what fiat is. That's the residue. That's the after effects. The real currency is the relationship. You can have $1 billion. If you a piece of shit and people hate you, they're going to try to kill you at every single turn. You're not going to have healthy relationships where people are going to want to spend or expand your billions of dollars. 9 times out of 10, they might want to take that money from you. They're trying to figure out ways to diminish that $1 billion that you have. There's millionaires that get killed in their cars every day. You know what I'm talking about? There's millionaires that get killed in a house, in their cars, in the streets every day, because it's not about the money. It's about the relationship. It's about how 100 do you keep it with yourself and with those around you? How do you treat the people around you? How do you add value to the world? This is about relationships. At the end of the day, the money is a residual effect. It's fiat. It's not real. What's real is how you build with a person. What's real is the connection. You know how many people I was seeing this week, this strong in, that I've been watching on his phone? Like my good brother from Plant-Based Living. You feel me? I'm like, yo, the phones don't be doing, you looking at somebody through a fucking glass. It's like going to see Purnell on a visiting floor. You can't even touch. Imagine going to see one of your parents, your father or something. He's doing life in the pen and whatnot, and you never got to touch his hand physically. You always looked at him through a glass. That's like what these phones are. It's cool and everything. This shit ain't real. You can't measure a person's impact. You don't know what a person's energy is until you looking at them in their face, until you standing right there with them. I promise you. That's how y'all be getting duped and whatnot, fucking around with these psychopaths. You know what I'm saying? Because you be sitting behind and you just think a person is somebody that you see on a live and whatnot. You getting a curated expression of a person in 30 minutes to an hour, and you don't know who that person is. You need to at least spend a day with a motherfucker before you be like, I know. You don't know Red Pill. You ain't break bread with me. How you know me? You know what I'm talking about? You didn't even go and do the stanky leg with me. You didn't hit the club with me. You didn't go on a mission with me. You know what I'm talking about? You didn't spend a day with me. You didn't break bread with me. We didn't sit down and eat yet. You didn't look at me in my eyes. You don't know me. Stop saying that you know me. You know of me, but you don't know me if you never met me in the real world. So you should make that, especially for those that are out there that be telling people that they saved their lives and you're my favorite teacher. All of the, but you never show up to nothing that these people do. Astaghfirullah. You just talking out the side of your tattoo. You know what I'm talking about? You bumping your gums. You don't really you don't love that person. You don't care about that person. You're not really giving back to that person when they've given you so much. You absent. Because what really matters is when they make that call and you pull up. Real talk. All that other shit is fluff. And you would have thought by now people would know how to keep it real in these streets. You know what I'm talking about? So with that being said, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? I got an interview to do on Black Ink Radio. You know what I'm saying? A podcast. They invited me to want to talk some talk. And then there's some other things that we got to take care of. And, with that being said, we will see you. We got a Conscious Connections episode coming up on Wednesday. And it will be broadcasting live from this channel. Make sure you hit the like button and all of that fly shit. Yeah, I'm tired of even saying that, but whatever, you know what I mean? Hit the Cash App. I'm tired of saying that too, but whatever. Money sign Phil Moreland, I guess that's my job. You know what I mean? I don't have too much to do in life. That's the job. Just tell people to hit the like and the Cash App. That can't be too much of a hard job to do, right? So y'all make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, hit up the KTLUniversity.com for your tickets for the class coming up on Sunday, or text FEAR to 470-660-4706. Rise in Power to Trouble, aka Scoob. For those of us who've been going through trouble, let's let that rise in power as well. Rise in power to your troubles. Rest in peace to your troubles. Rise in paradise to your troubles. Put that shit behind you. Breathe it out and whatnot. You're in the second quarter, right? The Jason months is July, August, September, October, November. I'm here in June to prepare you for when you hit the Jason months and they step these rituals up, that you don't get caught up in a ritual. One of the biggest rituals in the Jason months is the 4th of July celebration, my niggas. So instead of playing first generation American and you niggas is running around with flags on and whatnot and don't understand the esoteric symbology behind the flag and whatnot, instead of doing that, instead of giving your energy to the ritual, because the ritual starts with the 4th of July and it ends with Thanksgiving. All of those rituals, all of those holidays or those holy days or those holidays, that's part of the ritual. That's part of the continuing ritual that you keep putting on yourself. You have nobody to blame but yourself. You have nobody to blame but yourself. It's you are self-inflicting. It is the self-inflicting spell that you put on yourself when you celebrate with these spells and these rituals, where they ritualistically celebrate the murder of your people, when they ritualistically celebrate the destruction, like right behind me, Black Wall Street. You know what I mean? People celebrate shit like that and they don't even know that they're celebrating it. You know what I'm talking about? Get off of the bullshit. Find your own holy days, find your own celestial alignments and celebrate that. Go on Google. Y'all like Wikipedia so much. Go and find out the birthdays or the born days of the legends amongst you, the master teachers, the ones who are responsible for waking your ass up out of your death state, and celebrate that as a motherfucking holiday. Not George Washington, not Christopher Columbus, not none of these people who are rapists, murderers, thieves, and all kind of evil beings and whatnot. These are demonic evil beings, and you keep putting them in your heart and in your mind. You breathe life into them during this yearly annual cycle where you niggas be doing these celebrations for them, and you're supposed to be burning them down. You're supposed to be burning their pictures. You're supposed to be putting up edifices. What do they call that when they burn it? You know what I'm talking about. You're supposed to be burning that. You're supposed to be burning that like a fucking piñata. You're supposed to be beating that shit till candy fall out of it. An effigy. Make an effigy of these goddamn pilgrims and burn them. The same way that they burnt your ancestors from the limbs of these trees and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Have them swinging on a tree, smoking and whatnot. Have a barbecue against with an effigy of what you identify, right, as a pig, or what you identify as an op, or what you identify as something that you don't rock with like that. And I might be releasing a new song tonight too. I'm talking to my team. I'm waiting for them to call me back. You know what I mean? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean? We want to reach 500,000. Is that asking too much? To get 500,000 subscribers? Am I reaching and whatnot? Do I got to go on, you know, what I got to do? Huh? What I got to do? Do I got to start beefing and shit like that? What you want me to do to get 500,000? Huh? But yeah, that's part of the Jason ritual. So we're going to learn about this stuff in June. So when July comes, we don't get washed up. We don't get washed up. We don't step into that trap. Take back your power. It's not too hard. Take back your power. Take back your power. Take back your power. I promise you, you would fare better in this walk of life. Stop giving away your energy and whatnot. They're not worthy of it. They don't even know what to do with it. And nothing that you've given back has come back to you positively. They've sucked the energy. They've sucked the life force. They've sucked everything that we have to offer off of us and from us, and have given us nothing back. The only thing that they gave us back is bills, taxes, mandates, laws, just a bunch of shit to keep us locked down. They ain't give you nothing back. Nothing, not a thing. They got some of your favorite musicians and artists on cereal boxes talking about where are they now? They sucked them dry, robbed them, stole from them, pillaged them. If they not safe, how you safe? These are high-level employees. If they not safe, these are who you wanted to be. You wanted to be the Beyoncés of the world. You wanted to be Anita Baker. You wanted to be all of these people. The singers, the dancers, the stars, the actors, the superstars, the megastars. They knocked off Prince. They knocked Michael Jackson off. They knocked James Brown off. Come on, they knocked Whitney Houston off. What are you talking about? And then the rappers is knocking each other off. What is you saying? That's all they've done. Think about it. What did Brother Daoud, Rise in Power, what did he say? Why do we love the devil? Because the devil gives us nothing. They gave you nothing back. Nothing came back the way that they said that it was going to come back. To this day.
To this day.
Nothing came back.
To this day.
You didn't get no land back. You didn't get no gold back. You didn't get no silver back. They didn't even give you niggas quartz back. You didn't get no cotton back. They selling the cotton to you at a high price. You didn't get none of your gas back or your oil and whatnot. They went deep in your land. They went into the land in Texas. They went into the land in right around the Gulf and whatnot. They took all of that all of that oil out of Oklahoma. They took all of that oil out of the lands of Texas. That was your fucking oil, my nigga. That's your land. You know what I mean? Well, all of the mound builders, the Mississippians and whatnot, they took all of that oil out the land. They gave you nothing back. They took the gas out. They gave you nothing back. They poisoned the waters. They gave you nothing back. What are you talking about? They went into the North Georgia mountains and they stripped that shit of gold and gave you nothing. They didn't even give you niggas a fucking gold tooth, my nigga. They didn't give you nothing back. They ran up in California, the West Coast on a gold rush. They took all that gold and they didn't give you nothing back. They went into South America. They took the gold. They took the silver. They took the copper. They didn't give you niggas nothing back. They went into Africa. They took the coltan. They took the gold. They took the minerals. They took the diamonds. They took all that shit. And they didn't give you niggas even water. They didn't even give you a toilet bowl, electricity, sewage system. If I see you align with them, you are op. Straight like that. You know what I'm talking about? We got to stop playing these games with our people and really create a fucking divide and get these people off of our line and whatnot. If I see you emulating, cosplaying on a Tinder date, living vicariously, trying to be down. You know what I mean? I'm just assuming that you playing on an opposite team and that you against us at that point. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's becoming real serious. We supposed to have cut you niggas off when the whole unjab versus jab situation went down and whatnot. And niggas is out here being nice. But look how Young Thug is twiddling and whatnot. But it's looking like the sullied amongst us, the people that got that juice inside of them, they can't be trusted. Them niggas is flipping out here. You know what I'm talking about? It look like they out here snapping in these streets and whatnot. And I ain't talking about snapping in a good way, because you could snap and then have an awakening. You know what I mean? You could snap and then, you know, you on a whole nother level. I'm talking about snapping. There's no coming back type shit though. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing it's your skin folk is not your kinfolk. It is not a color thing right now. There's no color thing. There's no color thing. That's a farce. That's a social construct. That's a lie. That's an illusion. Don't fall for that one. It's a frequency thing at this point. It's a frequency thing. And it's a moral thing. What do you stand on? So with that being said, I just want to leave you with that. Let's really begin to contemplate what is the next 6 months going to look like, because we're in the second quarter. This is 6 more months in this quote unquote fiscal year and whatnot. The first 6 months that we used up, it's whatever. We don't have time to even look back on that. What are we looking at moving forward? What are we looking at moving forward? Because moves are being made. They building on, communities are being built. Land is being bought. Acres are being secured. Businesses are booming. Babies are being born and nurtured and whatnot. Shit is happening all around us. Don't fall for the okie doke. Just come outside. You need to get outside more and rub shoulders with people, and you will find some things out. Get out the house. You know, get off the phone. That part. So with that being said, love and light to the family. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Man, I appreciate every single one of y'all. We will tap in and we will see y'all very soon.